Sup, nerds? Own goal here, bringing you round 4 of a tournament against my teammate B6. We're playing GC against Skaven on a Ragnarok. Kind of an interesting one. We could either go like a melee build-up and a rush, but GC's tools for that are a little on the weak side. Or we can try to out-artillery him, which GC does have some tools for, although Skaven's pretty scary in the arty duels. Or we could do kind of like the Wood Elf thing where we take as many archers as possible, and then we like slow push. That's also respectable into Skaven most of the time. It can really go south on you if they take like more of a melee-oriented build, but it can also work. I kind of like the mass bow idea today. Let's see, how much does one of these guys cost? It's pretty expensive. So and you always sort of want a Terror Source against Skaven if you can get it. We could take, I think they just buffed this in the last patch, so it costs less. It's still kind of pricey though. How does this compare to just the other one? It doesn't have that much more stats, and it does cost a good amount more. So I'm a little bit inclined to go for like just a very cheap Footlord, some kind of respectable caster. Maybe like this. Yeah, that seems reasonable. And then like one lion to act as a terror source. Just thinking out loud here. And then like a whole lot of archers. And then we kind of just walk up and shoot him and hope that's good. This can go very, very wrong. But it can go right. It can go right. We could even do like max peasant archers. If he goes Ikit is pretty good against the other ones. I kind of like this. This doesn't seem terrible to me. And then we go like those. The one awkward thing is if B6 outranges us, we're going to be in a situation where we need to like walk up the hill, which I'm not super in love with. But what are you going to do, you know? Daka Daka. The alternative is we could take a flying... How much does a flying summon caster cost these days? We could take a flying summon caster like this. And fly over and drop summons on its arty. And then try to shoot him with the arty. I think that's less likely to win, though, than just, like, we have a lot of bows. He has less. We shoot him, he dies. Yeah. I'm kind of I'm in for Team Bow this game. We'll try it. It could work out very poorly, but that's part of the fun of playing the games. The one thing that I'm considering right now is it would be really nice to be able to take points early. So perhaps we mount our Lord. Just something's got to go on the point and capture. The other thing is we could do like a double terracotta rush, but I think that's not going to work. Skaven sometimes struggle with like big tough SEs. So we just absolutely max out our bows as much as humanly possible. And then we have like a little bit of crows to come in and provide late game reinforcements. Yeah, I can see this working. I can see this working. It would be really nice to have in our opener like 2 cheap. Oh, these don't have shields, so they're not going to be good against Night Runners. That's good to know. Some cheap cav is what I'm trying to figure out if we could slot in. I think this game is just not going to be about the points. Like, we'll walk up, and if we beat him on the army engage, it'll be like a crushing victory, and if we don't, we'll lose really hard. So given that commitment, can probably afford 1 Grand Cannon to pick some things off. Like, if we need to build up, we can summon this and sit behind it for a little bit, probably. Yeah, okay. Okay. It's an idea. It's an idea. Wonder if we just want... Skaven doesn't, like, have the absolute best Searing Doom targets. We probably just want a Final Transcaster, to be honest. Yeah, let's try that. And then our spend might work out a little bit better. It doesn't help to spend that much. This could be another Terror Source / a late game Harmony Source. And then we can cut the Crow. On that, oh, we'll just upgrade. Because I think does this thing, yeah, this thing has, oh, it's only an active. It's not like the Empire Griffins. I do kind of like missile mirroring one of his like globes or something. That's kind of cute. We'll try it. We'll try it. All right. Yeah, this build could very easily get stomped on, but we'll give it a go. This seems viable. Let's give it a go. Okay. We cheese the Skaven. Cheese for the rats. This works really well for Wood Elves, but part of what makes it work is that they have Firewall move on all the Glade Guard archers, and so they can push up into a static defense exceptionally well, which we may not be able to do. But we'll see. All right, he went 15, which is a little bit low for the Rat Hordes, so that's a little bit of an indicator that he's rocking SEs. And we can kind of tangle with the SEs. We've got some units for that. It's not the end of the world. We'll space these out. And we want to spread our formation pretty wide, because otherwise he's going to be able to get like multiple units defensively on these things, which we don't want. Like, he can shut down a lot of our archers with 1 unit pretty easily. Just close the door. Got my wife having a conversation in the background. All right. Let's see. Deploy a metric fuck ton of archers. And we're going to need to summon Cav pretty early, because this front line won't hold if he pushes. Like, he'll just break it apart and get through. And so we need to be able to use a combination of Cav and missiles on the secondary. So we'll deploy like a second rank of missiles here. And these peasant archers are just going to hang out, essentially. All right. GLHF. Let's do it. Okay, so he's got 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. 13 units we can see. Throt is mounted. So there's probably a Giselle in there somewhere. And we're a little bit in a bind here, because we really need, actually, let's just back up here. We really need some Cav to hold the Doom Flares. But we'd also love to have our Artie online. Oh, we didn't even take the Artie. Oh, well, no bind. No Artie, no bind. So he's pretty oriented to a melee rush. We're just going to back up, because that's too many flares for us to deal with without bringing some more things in. So we're just going to give him all 3 points. And it's a little awkward to be playing this kind of like push game with GC, but I don't think we can actually afford to engage right now, because these Doom Flares would just like run through our entire army pretty comfortably. So what we're going to need to do is summon in a couple more Jade Lancers. The bare minimum is 1 per Doom Flare. Oh, and he wants these hands. Okay, sure. So we'll start slow pushing, because we really don't have infinite time. This is a very awkward game state. Skaven Slave Spears. So the priority will be clan rats, and roguers. Stop those. Start shooting at those. And we're hoping that we can basically like clear his army out. Oh, get those roguers. That's not a summon, that's a real roguer. Okay. This could result in winning game state, most definitely. The biggest problem is just going to be like these infinite flares here. But we can kill the roguers real fast. And you know, the flares are very resilient to shooting, but they're not like shooting invincible. So we might be able to actually shut them down with some shooting. It's certainly like not what you want, but sometimes you just kind of have to make do. And we're trying to match all the flares basically with Cav, so that nothing breaks through and has like a runaway performance. This initial engage is going phenomenally for us. Getting shots on the roguers, routing off a lot of rats, not taking too much damage on our secondary. We've been able to catch most of, but not all of the flares. So here we'll just turn, shoot the roguer, move that out. And we're going to need to start thinking about recapping real soon here. Even though the fight is going very well for us on value, because we're triple capped, we're not going to have like all the time in the world. But I think the priority remains getting up enough on value that we can comfortably sweep the map, versus like going all in to push the points too early. We'll start summoning light cav so that we can push. And we'd like to get our caster out at some point, but it doesn't actually, like Final Trans doesn't solve the problem we currently have, which is that we need a breakthrough. And we need to keep our backline alive while we're doing that. So just more mass and cav is kind of the thing for the time being. And the Skaven actually, like once their initial mass, oh, that's bad. What is that? Triads, wolf rats. That's fine. Wolf rats cost enough that we can actually take that trade. Kill the thing, charge those. Run there. Okay. Now it's time for Final Trans. And I'm actually just going to pop it off immediately. Like I could get more value on Throt, but he heals. I'm just going to immediately pop it off on that backline engage, because we need to keep our army up so that we can recap stuff. And we have enough WOM that we're going to have another one probably by the time it's on cooldown. And so the objective there is to get some tempo so that we can go cap. I'd like to get a Pterosaurus out because we have all these low Skaven, so I think I'm going to save up for the cheaper of the two. And we need to be getting some range damage off. Storm Vermin Halberds, that's a priority, especially since they're entering one of the points that we've actually got. We don't want to get ground out in melee. Actually, no Pterosaurus, we just need more cav. And we can use our cav to protect our range, get some more damage off. We don't really want to fight Throt that much. Throt's going to be a bit of an issue. So maybe we get our second Final Trans on him. We just, you can't really commit to doing that to Throt without follow-up. So what we would need is like 1 or 2 SEs out so we can, because he'll just heal it up if you don't immediately apply pressure to him. So what we would want is like some SEs to go attack Throt right away. And I think basically the way this game is going to play out is we're not going to have the luxury to kill Throt. We're going to have to just play for the points and kill everything else. And Throt gets to do damage to whatever he wants to, and that's just how it's going to work. But that's okay. not a huge issue. Try to use our cab to break through here, and yeah, now it's time to get a terror source in play because we want to trigger the great Skaven Routathon if we can. Yeah, this one will do. It doesn't need to be the expensive terror source. Sent that in. Is that a summoner or is that an actual roger? That's an actual roger, okay. Stop moving with those. Okay, we got that point pretty comfortably. Send these over, send this over. Now we just try to like flood him with the tide of peasants. Yeah, this looks pretty good actually. And we've got our final trans up. I think we continue the plan of not prioritizing Throt. Let's get our cab out of there. Unsummon that, because we're going to need to resummon stuff since this game is going to go kind of long. Get these out of there, charge there. Get some shots on that, back that out. Okay, we got a mass route over here, that's great. And because we're a little worried about running out of infantry, we'll summon just one. And we have to be careful in the middle here. We have to be very careful. Because we don't, like, we're going to have to 3-cap again if he gets this back. So I would like to not have that be the case, although it looks like he's going to get it. Oh, they changed the, oh, that's funny. They changed the cap weight on the elite infantry. Well, now we have a good final trans. So the Storm Vermin, I think, actually qualify for the new 7 treatment. Maybe we can get a missile mirror off on these guys. Now I'm going to try to summon my other terror source, I think. Go in, fight those, shoot those. I think we can just shoot Throt to death, actually. Let's find out. I'm kind of curious. He's got, I recall that he has a pretty big hitbox, actually. For like a smaller mounted character. We're definitely going to lose to Throt if he gets to just sit there in this melee fight forever. So we want to apply some pressure to him with our SE and our pile of archers. And, you know, obviously if we, like, kill their lord, the game's over. Looks pretty decent, actually. The archers are doing good damage to him. He kind of walked a little too deep, which is what triggered us to take that tactic. Because he was exposed to close fire from a lot of the archers. So now, yep, there we go. We get a Lord route. B6 concedes. Pretty decisive, actually. Not bad. So GC doing our best Wood Elves impression works out. Kind of a classic anti-Skaven tech. This one kind of play works pretty well against like the globe boxes, where if they're indexed a little too heavily on anti-melee stuff, you can just click on all the globes and kill them. This game, I think, his rush actually was pretty well tuned to what we were doing. And the key moment was identifying that when he was bringing the rush out and just backing up. Summoning enough cav to contest the rush pieces and then pushing out. So overall, a pretty good game. On to round 5. See you soon, nerds.